Okay, Jet says 2 for the price of 1. That last video I did, I want to do another one which is looks at some of the other markets as well, but the other one's getting too long. So I'm just going to run through these markets. So the S&P, quickly, we've looked at that just in the last video. Critical level, the 2 core levels I've got in is like 41.50 and 42.75. I do think it's headed towards this gap here. I'm looking to just for a little bounce to then re-short it. If I'm lucky, I might get 4,300. That could be pushing it. This little chop in here, I think we could get a little bit more chop in there. I squared up because of the RSIs on the 4 hourly were strengthening on weakening price action. This is the Russell doing one of my favorite patterns. You can see here it's had this little situation here which it started to break. It's been a pretty good leading indicator on what's been going on. Leading indicator, I mean not just a present one, on the action in the S&P. Pretty reliably. You can see it topped out well before the S&P did. Little false break here. To me, it's going down. 1650. That has what percentage is that? That's still a fair drop, right? Yeah, call it 15% on the way down. This rollover pattern, that's a classic one that I look for. Everyone runs to the party, everyone plays pass the parcel, they swap their car keys, and they all wake up and go, holy fuck, it is time to go, and they all run away pretty quickly. The Nasdaq, I did look at that in the last one pretty quickly. It's got the old reverse symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call it, the megaphone, where it is high highs, high low, low low, high high, low low, high high, low low. Failed at the midpoint, extraordinarily bearish in my view. This thing could have a long way to go on the way down. Just on some of those projections, let's just have a quick look here. Look at that, 11,000, 9,500. Well, to me, I would not rule that out one iota. Yeah, that would be a very interesting situation there. You probably kind of make it look like it. Probably line it up if I really wanted to. That's that one. The Aussie market. I've been short this. This move down, squared up here. You can see the 4 hourly, where we've got some weakening price action, right? But on strengthening momentum. So to me, that's what I look for to square up, and it was just too compelling at 7,200 to take back some of that cash, and you can see it's rallied back since. It's probably might be coming in to close some of this gap here. If it gets up to 7,400, I am shorting it again substantially, I would say. Famous last words. The Aussie, I've actually been adding to my long Aussie position, the unforgivable sin. I culled some of it up at around 76-ish, and I've added some to it. It's like 7150, I think. I added some more to it. This is all about the dollar, the US dollar, and I think the Aussie, it might come down. You can start to see where it's. These spikes, they're just kind of spikes down. You can see really on the if you take out some of the noise, it really is getting down to that level where it does get some tangible support. These are liquidation events, right? You probably even draw it higher with that. So to me, it's a long here. Down here, I'll be adding to it and then stopping out below. Yeah, the Aussie contracts, they're kind of nice to play because it's like the FX contracts like 100,000 US equivalent pop, so they're not that big. Gold, I shorted gold again up at like 1940, and then added to it again when it broke through 1900. This is doing one of my favourite little patterns, again, similar to the Russell, right, where it has a shot up. It's not as neat as the Russell, it has a shot up. It has a bit of pass the parcel, and people start running for the doors, which they are doing. That's just on the little time frame. I'm looking to do it on, it did it, that little time frame there as well. I'm looking for it to happen on quite a big time frame, like I'm talking whatever happened there. I'm looking for it to happen on this kind of time frame, right, all the way down to 1300. That's what I've got in mind. If we look at it on a monthly, it shows up a little bit more clearly. Put it on a log scale. Yeah, so you can see how it has got a big gap there to fill, right? In the same way that it did it here, right? Talk about it a dozen times, dozens of times, right? So that's gold. That's why I'm short. So what it's doing on the little micro level there, I think it's going to do on the macro level. That's what I'm banking on. Shitcoin. Let's have a look at shitcoin. Always makes me laugh. So my reading is, bear flag, right? With a projection, takes it down. That's like the 618. That's the 1-to-1 down at 12,500. Previous breakout level. Same old friend. A shoot up. Everyone runs into the party. Pass the parcel. Swap the car keys. Has a bit of shits and giggles. And then when it comes time to go, it's time to go. It's at a pretty interesting level, like at the moment in here. And I guess the story is if the risk off, attitude kind of keeps coming, then, 29,000, 30,000, here we come, like in a blink of an eye. And then if that doesn't hold, which I don't think it will, off it goes. I don't touch this stuff. I think it's rubbish. I wouldn't recommend anyone touching it at all. These are the yields. I'm still short the bonds. These are starting to top out. They've hit quite a few targets. These are the 2s and the 10s. Made a killing on these. Been short them since down here. That's been a really nice little trade for me. And you can see, I'm actually going to draw it like this, right? Take out some of the noise. And you can see these points here, curve flattening, curve flattening, curve flattening, curve flattening. Now it's different this time because the curve flattened, right? But it all shot through. It shot through substantially, like in the scheme of things. When you look at where did the curve flatten before, it's right around this line, right? Oh, not true there. Flattened and then kept going. Flattened then kept going. Flattened, kept going. It's true actually. But it kind of turned at these points when the curve was pretty flat. I guess that's probably what I meant to say. Well, that's the more accurate thing to say. When it turned, the curve was flat. Okay, flattened beforehand. It's flattening beforehand. Flattened beforehand. But at this point, when it was flat and hit this line, it didn't turn, it kept on going, which is different. Okay, so it flattened and then kept on going. So that is quite a noticeable break. The 10-year target that I've had in mind is always just around about 3.2-ish. So there, 325, which is that level just through there. I've actually got a steepener on that I put on when the curve was slightly inverted, and I'll add to it when it gets a little bit flatter, which I think it will. And I think that's the overall target that I've got in mind. So it's getting this pretty close anyway. Look, that's it for those markets. That's the shitcoin, gold, the FX market, the Aussie, the Nasdaq. I haven't looked at the Dow, don't worry about that. Look at that, gold's still going down, 1893, that's all good. S&P recovering, 42.12, not too bad, having a bit of a struggle around here. Aussie, I'm pretty happy with that, sitting on that one. It's all working pretty well for me at the moment. Look, that's about it. By the way, this isn't really education, and this certainly is not advice. If you're trading futures like me, you've got rocks in your head, do not do it. Cut it out straight away, cease immediately, or else I'll tell your mother. Okay, all right. Have a good one. We'll catch you later. Ciao.